Yo, what's going on guys, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best 10 brawlers within the brand new meta, literally a couple of days since the new meta has formed. So we're going to be seeing who the best brawlers are right now. So before we jump into it, make sure you're using the correct code, that'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Okay guys, so jumping into the 10th best brawler within this meta, we have Griff. So it's pretty hard to really like put a full top 10 just because a lot of brawlers right now seem pretty balanced, but I put Griff more so towards the top 10 just because of the meta, and especially with a lot of Poco right now within the meta, especially on ladder. Griff is a really good choice because not only can he deal with those normal like lane brawlers, like beforehand he could only deal with tanks, right? But ever since like his star power has risen in popularity, the ability just to passively heal is actually incredibly strong, especially in your 1v1 interactions. So as I said, not only good against tanks but also just good against the generic brawlers. And the reason why Griff has gone up so much, again, yeah, Poco, he's just running the meta right now so strong. So of course tank counters are going to be pretty OP, and the ability to break open walls as well is a really strong thing to counter the Poco double tank combinations even harder, and just overall allows you to keep your distance and also just break the map up how you want it to. So yeah, Griff is definitely a really strong brawler within this meta. Okay guys, so jumping into the 9th best brawler within the brand new meta, we have Anita. So at first I was a bit apprehensive on putting her so high on the rankings, but I think just watching scrims overall, playing Power League, Anita is so strong. Ladder right now, she's completely bossing it, and overall she's so incredibly strong. So she was a bottom 5 brawler, now a top 10. I think that is a pretty fair ranking overall, but the main reason why she's so strong, so she's got a 9% attack buff, which is pretty a lot. Anita really lacked in the damage department. I always said that, especially in the lanes, it literally felt like she was shooting marshmallows at the opponents. She was so incredibly weak. That 9% definitely helped her out a lot, and she needs one less ammo, taking out 21 out of the 60 brawlers. So of course this is really going to help in her interactions. The only thing that lets Anita down is her versatility. She's only good on the closed off maps like Super Stadium, like the generic Brawl maps, Pit Stop, but that's the only thing letting her down. But overall she's so incredibly strong, especially on those closed off maps. Alright, so now jumping into the 8th best brawler within the brand new meta, we have Gale. So of course when a brawler like Poco, any type of healer is within the meta or tanks, Gale's going to be super strong, and his ability just to stun lock people so easily is just so OP. His gadget as well, 3 uses for 10 seconds, allows you just complete defense against tanks, and essentially just like you know, brawlers like Ems as well, you can literally 1v3 against certain teams, especially if they're tanks as well. But the reason why he's so high in the rankings in comparison to brawlers like Ems, I'll have to spoil it, like Ems isn't on the top 10, it's because he's also so strong just against your normal lane brawler. The ability to push up with your super, you have so much pressure, and every single time you push a brawler against a wall, well, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be able to get the kill. And just his pressure over, as I said, I want to get that super on every single map. You know, I see him used on like Canal Grande, for example, which is kind of wild. Like Gale on Canal Grande, to begin with, a couple of months ago, probably thought a bit wild. Even in a previous meta he was pretty strong, but even more so now, there's just so many tanks and he's going to be able to shut them down so easily. So that's why Gale is so strong. Okay guys, so coming in at the 7th best brawler within the new meta, we have Penny. So Penny, although she did receive a 300 HP nerf, I don't think that really like affected her whatsoever. The reason why she's kind of fallen off, well, not really fallen off, gone down a few places within the meta, is just because of the pure tank power. She still can't really deal with you know, the Poco double tank. She can do somewhat okay, especially with her gadget, but once the gadgets are gone, those tanky brawlers are still going to be able to counter her a little bit. So maybe we might see Penny fall down the meta a little bit if it remains to be the Poco meta that we're seeing right now, but overall she's still super versatile. And of course in like a Power League or competitive setting, you can ban out Poco and those other tanky brawlers and she'll just thrive because she's so strong 1v1 against so many different brawlers. The turret is so easy to get right now, just everything about it is so versatile, and she really hasn't gone down in the rankings too much since that nerf. Okay, so coming in at the 6th best brawler within the new meta, we have Janet. So Janet, still a top 10 brawler within the meta. The nerfs did hit her a little bit, especially the ability to chain her supers, but overall I don't think she's changed too much. Only 300 HP nerf. You know, if you're feeling the HP nerf, you can just put a shield gear onto her and you probably won't feel the nerf anymore, and you probably use shield gear for the majority of the part anyway. Super, I mean, a super is pretty good, but overall you only really use her super when you know someone is lower HP, or you find the right timing and trying to get in behind enemy lines. Overall you won't really just use a super as soon as you get it right, because you do have a lot of vulnerabilities with it as well. So I don't think the nerfs really helped actually nerfed her too much, because her gadget is still incredibly strong. Just her burst burst potential as well. It's so strong. Probably a damage nerf is needed next, but yeah, Janet is still pretty OP. Okay, so next up, coming in as the 5th best brawler within the brand new meta, we have Carl. So Carl still is a brawler that's incredibly strong. He does have a lot of counters, so of course you got to bear that in mind in the draft period, just because there are a lot of obvious counters, you know, like Gale, Search, Colette. Those are the 3 main ones that will just absolutely ruin you. But overall, Carl is a brawler that you just cannot ignore. That's why you need to go with those counters, because he's so incredibly strong. Even with the 600 HP nerf, he still remains to be one of the strongest brawlers within the game. A little bit easier to take him down, but if you're feeling the HP nerf, you can do a couple of things. You can just run Protective Period basically every time, and you're not going to die when you use your super. You know, he's still really strong when he has that star power. And if you're feeling the HP nerf in normal form, just put a shield gear on him. Like, he's pretty strong with every single gear, so put a shield gear on him and you should be good to go. So yeah, Carl, still a really strong brawler right now. Alright guys, jumping into the 4th best brawler within the meta right now, we have Bonnie. So Bonnie, still an incredibly strong brawler. She was the best brawler within the previous meta. Right now, I feel like she might be slowly dropping in the meta. The 600 HP nerf wasn't really a lot, but the main reason why she's dropping is just because of other brawlers around her, right? Like, especially again, like, the meta's going to revolve a lot around Poco, and Bonnie really struggles against aggro brawlers. But still, especially in the Power League format, if you ban out Poco, then you should be able to absolutely dominate with Bonnie. 600 HP relative terms is nothing. She still has a really good gadget, still got some good damage, good range. Everything about her is still really strong, so make sure you're still using Bonnie, especially if Poco is banned. Okay guys, so jumping into the 3rd best brawler within the brand new meta, we have Stu. So you guys might be really surprised by this one, but Stu right now, he's so incredibly OP. The main reason being, well, probably the actual reason being, is because of his gadget, which is actually a bug, and they've still not sorted it out. Maybe a few days after I make this video, it will get patched, and Stu will probably just be like a top 15 brawler. But right now, he's so incredibly insane. You get your super for free from the breakthrough gadget now. So just like it was in the past, you could pop that gadget and get a free super. They of course removed that because it's way too OP, and now it's back in the game again. So the biggest counter to Stu beforehand, especially on the more longer range maps, was not feeding Stu his first super. A lot of times Stu could struggle in games, and that's the reason why he wasn't like top 10 brawler, was because smart players would keep their distance, not feed him that first super, and then of course he's basically useless because he can't get within range. But now you can just pop your gadget, get your first super, and just go absolutely ham. So of course there's other maps as well where his speed zone gadget is just so incredibly OP. You know, maps like Open Zone, for example, where literally his speed turret just carries the game completely. So that's going to be the 3rd strongest brawler. Alright guys, so jumping into the 2nd best brawler within the brand new meta, we have Poco. So Poco's buff has completely broken him, especially on the ladder. Like, ladder right now is just Poco, Anita, Poco, Max, Poco, everything. It's just Poco, right? Like, there's so many tankier brawlers now in the meta because of him as well. But damage buff really helped him out. So 150 damage might not have seemed a lot in pure numbers, but it was a 14% damage buff, which is pretty substantial, and he actually took out 39 out of the 60 brawlers with 1 less ammo, which just on pure stats looks pretty insane. And you know, I'm seeing a lot more screeching solo as well, a lot more aggressive plays. The other thing about him is that sometimes people can keep the distance and not get within his range. Of course, he has a short range, but he's still incredibly OP. Alright guys, I'm moving on to the best brawler within the brand new meta. We have Max. So Max by no means is like completely broken. The reason why I think she's the best brawler within the game right now is because of her versatility, the ability to play with pretty much every single combination, vicinity with every single brawler, and also pretty good on every single map. And she doesn't have a lot of counters, so the best counter by far for her was Crow, and Crow got a heavy nerf. He's basically out of the meta. I wouldn't really say completely, but pretty much that is a really hard nerf to his gadget, of course. But overall, I think Max is really strong. She's got good damage, good HP, the ability just to go extremely aggro sometimes and get some really unique plays. I think makes her the best brawler within the game right now. Alright guys, it's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. So it's pretty hard to make like a clear-cut top 10 video just a couple of days after the meta, but I think this is what it kind of is right now. Of course, as even more days go on, it will change even more, and probably give it about a week of playing like Power League competitive, looking at all the data to really see where the meta lies. And of course, I'll do a tier list as soon as I figure that one out. But overall, I think this is a pretty accurate top 10. Let me know what you think of a top 10 in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.